How's practice going so far?
It's going. It's good. No, it's day 4. So no, it was good. It was good. High energy today. It was high energy today, so that was good to see. And just kind of still a lot of toughness. We got some really skilled players. Just got to instill some more toughness, in my opinion. And it was good. It was good. The guys were flying around today. It was a good morning.
Are you talking about just your group or overall?
Well, I don't want to speak over. Overall, I think overall too, but definitely my group. Trying to finish in runs and just playing with an attitude and more grit to him. And so you think, Demario's played some, but JK's really the one that's played extensive. And so you got a lot of young guys haven't done a lot. And as far as playing goes, so these are valuable reps for them.
You've got Master Teague, who's been here for a full year now. Where have you seen him develop? What's different about him this time?
Yeah, you can tell he's much more settled, much more comfortable. Let's just say comfortable in his own skin, if you will. And there's a toughness factor that he's coming on, a lot just grittier, grimier type player, and finishing things off more. And just his knowledge of what's going on around him has allowed him to play faster. And so I'm very pleased with what he's done in the past 4 days.
Marcus is a guy who's in his position now as an early enrollee. What have you seen from him since he's gotten here?
He's swimming, and as he should be. But the good thing is what we've done, we have thrown him into the fire, if you so to speak, and he's responding. He's going to make mistakes, and these are very prideful guys. When they make mistakes, it bothers them, as it should. But that's what he needs. He needs to get thrown in that fire. But he's got some skills, and all of a sudden he'll flash and do something like, okay, here he goes. But he's a tough kid.
What can you expect out of him this spring camp and this
whole
year?
To say in the fall, who knows? I mean, that's why we're practicing in the spring. Right now, the whole thing is learn the offense,
right?
Which he's doing, and then how fast will you go play? And listen, you're going to make mistakes. We got it. That's our old mantra, 4 to 6, A to B. Mistakes are going to be made, but don't have me question your effort and your want to and the speed of which you play. That we cannot have any question about, and he's doing a nice job with that thus far.
Tony, how do you see Ryan evolving as a head coach?
Wow, I think he's great. I mean, what am I going to say? He's bad? No, in all reality, he's great. He's great to work with.
Thrown in.
And something, and you can tell he's much more comfortable too in what he's doing, and I just think that comes with time. And last time he got thrown in, that's why he got thrown in. Here we go, and he's been able to prepare for this moment, and he doesn't. He lets us coach. And it's great. He allows us to coach and own our rooms, if you will. And that's not saying that Urban didn't, but that's what Ryan's done. He's not micromanaging things, and you can tell he's much more comfortable. And okay, here we are. Here's what the plan of attack is. I love how his demeanor every day. It hasn't changed. Such a high energy guy and positive, and it has not changed from day one. And so that's a joy to work with and for.
Demario mentioned that he's with you guys now officially. He was kind of between positions last year. What's different about him now after kind of spending a little bit of time at H-back? What does he bring to that room with his skill set?
He brings the knowledge of the offense, one, so he could be a matchup nightmare, because he's a guy who's adept at running routes, understands the concepts of. Truly understands the ins and outs of the concepts from the receiver position. Obviously understands it from the running back perspective as well. He had to gain some weight, which he's done and doing. But he can be a matchup nightmare. All of a sudden you put him in the backfield and shift him out into some empty sets and things like that nature. You make linebackers go out there and cover him. That's a matchup problem. So we'd like to think.
Yeah. You mentioned he's gaining weight. Where do you want him to be physically?
I think he's about 195 right now.
Okay.
194. We'd like to get him close to 200. We can get him up, but he's pretty close. I mean, he's getting there. So he's got to put a little bit on, but that takes time. You're not going to just do that overnight.
Right.
That's going to take some time.
He said that he had to learn patience, which was not always an easy thing for him to do. Can you describe that?
Good. I mean, there's a thing that you say, well, be patient, be patient. Wait your turn, and why? And as far as playing goes, he wants to just. A lot of times in a zone scheme, you have to have some patience about some things versus just go like a racehorse. And yet, those are learned traits. Those are learned behaviors. And he's really done a nice job. But Demario's a highly skilled player. We've always known that. It's just kind of in between. Okay, what's he really, really elite at versus really good at, and so we're kind of trying to hone that in. And there's a valuable place for him in offense and what we're doing, and the energy that he brings every day is amazing.
everyone's talking about it. This year, J.K. is going to be the guy. Demario said, look, I think I'm going to spend time with him. I want to spend time with him. How do you see that developing?
We'll see as we go. We'll go, but Demario's going to play a lot of football. Not to say what that 50-50, 60-40. I'm here to say that. But Demario's going to play a lot of football for us. And he's going to play really, really well. Extremely confident. He's going to play exceptionally well for us. And again, the energy and positivity that he brings every day is great, especially for me in my room, because I have a tendency to kind of antsy with some things, putting it mildly. And he's the one that has a real, he does a nice job of kind of keeping it, make sure to keep the main thing, and kind of bring some levity to it a little bit.
How much is he matured?
He's like a grown-ass man. You got to understand, I started recruiting when he was a junior in high school. And that's what's fun about the game of college. You have an opportunity to watch guys grow from, I'll say little boys, but not, you know what I mean. And I've watched him just mature and immensely mature, and it's great to watch. It's fun to watch. And not just him, but all our guys, but he's one of my favorites on this football team.
You said you see Demario playing a lot of football this fall. How much do you see Master seeing the field, and what is his growth?
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, his growth has been immense as well, and his maturity levels of how he plays, and he's not kind of just sitting on the side, kind of taking it as it comes. He's much more aggressive. And there's some tenacity and toughness that comes along with that he has shown this spring. That quite frankly, it took him a little bit of time to grow into that, and that's not a bad thing. Some guys go at a different rate. J.K. was at a faster rate of speed as far as his ability to bite and attack things. He was a little faster, and that's not a negative towards Master or anybody else. It's just the difference of the growth maturations are different for guys and the timing that they do it. But Master Teague's a totally different guy now than what he was mid-season and even towards the end of the season. But he knows it because we've told him that. And like you watched him today, he's putting his face on people. He's running harder. He's much more aggressive. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows this offense. He's engaged in the meetings. He always was. We kind of sat back. Now he's okay, this is what this is. He can get up and teach it, and so I'm really pleased with where he's at right now.
How much have you seen out of Marcus?
Again, he's young, so he's still learning, like drinking through a fire hose,
yeah, so this is kind of going to be a building year for him. Right?
Well, it's going to be a building spring. Yeah. There's no doubt about that, and we'll see how much information he can retain, and how fast can he retain it. Because right now, you start to get to day 4 and 5, everything starts to mesh together. One call sounds like, did he mean this? Did he mean that? Well, was it a C? Was it a B? Was it this? Was it that? And it all starts to mesh together and sound alike for guys who are new. And not only that, you have me standing about 6 inches from you yelling at you. Intentionally. Organized chaos. And so there's a lot that goes on.
You yelling nice things? Where you
Absolutely. I'm telling how much I love him. And I'm telling him how much I would wish that he would step this way or that way. Are you kidding me?
I gotta go.
What would you yell at him right around now if we were?
What I would yell at JK? Well, first of all, I can't stand JK. You know what they say about your children? You can love them, but you don't have to like them. I don't like him. I don't like him. But JK, I don't like you. I love you. I love you. There you go. That boy. It's called parenthood. That's right.
Tony, J.K. said that he requested to be worked like a freshman during spring practice, and that you have been amenable to that request. Is that second part true?
That's very accurate.
Okay.
It's extremely accurate.
Why?
I thought that when J.K. got here, he was so hungry and wanted to take every single rep. And he said, run 100 yards, sprint back, and do it again, and do it a third time, do it before he'd do it. But then he had a little bit of success. And we spoke about it in some regards. It's kind of like, okay, like he'd arrived, and he hadn't. And so our whole thing, this whole off season has been about, and really not, towards the end of last season was about, listen, get back to what this is the JK that I know. It's kind of fallen off the ledge a little bit, and we have to get back to this. And we're going to get back to that, but it wasn't a fight. Because he wanted to do, because he admitted it. JK is a very mature young guy, and he said, "Yeah, you're right. I need to do a better job here and help me." And So it's a work in progress. I'm working with it too, and it's, you know, one thing about him is he's extremely coachable, and but at the same time we have a good enough relationship with my guys that I'm not always right, and if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. And you have a voice, you have an opinion. But when we walk out of the room, we walk on the field, here's what we're all working towards the same goal, and we're all going to be on the same page when it's all said and done. And there's times that I'll say some things he may not like. And again, it's a parenthood deal, but our relationship is strong enough that I think my guys understand, and not just me, but our staff, that when we say something and ask them to do something, it's for what we think is best at that moment. It's not for me. It's not to help me. I'm good. I'm 50 years old. I'm straight. But it's to help you. And you may not even realize that this is in your favor, but just do it. And you'll figure it out through the course of time. But that's being young, and he's been great. He has been fantastic. He's practicing like he did when he was a true freshman. This is exactly what I want.
So first of all, you've aged really well if you're 50. Second of all, is Master Teague able to go 100% right now? Because he said he's dealing with some things. That was his word.
No, I don't know what some things are.
Neither did I. That's what
he's playing exceptionally well. He's playing at his full speed, and I know I look like I'm about 22.
Right.
No, I feel like I'm about 80 now. No, but no, he's doing well. Master's his full speed.
So if J.K. whatever went on with him last season compared to freshman season, was there anything physical about it? Was there anything, or was it if he wasn't maybe quite the same player? Is it all mental? Is it all that attitude?
He was worried about stuff that he didn't need to worry about. He's worried about what other people were doing, what other people were saying, what other people were thinking, how someone was reacting to something that was completely out of his control. And so in some regards, overthinking. And that's part of just being mature. And saying that you worry about what you're doing. Your plate is plenty full. Worry about what's on your plate. And let me and us worry about what we're doing over here. You just do what you're supposed to do, and I think some might have lost a little bit there. But in his defense, he was always trying to make this huge play because we were rotating backs, and so his thing was like, well, listen, if I'm only going to get so many reps, and I know my rep count's getting cut, every chance I get, I'm going to try to blow the doors wide open, and that's not how the game works. Right, you got to stay with the flow of the play and the design of the play, and then there's some frustration that's set in. So there's a bunch of things that play into that, the mental aspect of it, and there's something I probably could have done. I could have done a better job of helping him navigate those waters, if you will. And so again, you're still talking about young guys, and our jobs are to coach them. So I'm not going to put the onus on him; it's on me. If you see your players do something, the first person to look that you don't like, or you wish were better, the first person to look at is the coach. I'm the coach. That's all. Anything that happened with that kid and my players, if it's going wrong, the first person to throw a dart at is me.
So is it hard when you're looking for the home run every time? You look at his yards per carry last year compared to freshman year. That's a result of that. Because you're not maybe some of it. Maybe you're not maximizing.
Well, because you're always looking. Right, exactly. You're always looking for this big run, and so you're popping your feet around. And your eyes are not in the right places at the right time, and henceforth you're behind it. You're a step behind the play, and some of that, again, that's on me. That's I got to do a better job.
But also maybe some of that not having the same run threat at quarterback. Not that you guys did great stuff on offense last year.
You're right.
It's different.
There's a multitude of things that play into that. There's no doubt. And that's not the listen. We're not going to make excuses about what it is. And our jobs in the offseason, my job in the offseason, is to go identify for each player, identify some things that we need to go work on, and which I have. And every guy has a list. I mean, he has a litany of stuff that I've written down. We got to improve on this, and we got to improve on. You notice I said we, not I. We, not you. We have to improve on these things, and here's how we're going to do it. And here's why. Here's video evidence of why we need to improve on this, that, and the other. And so, again, with him, that's one of the things. We're not going to be looking around here. Here's the design of play. Take it and go. And quit looking for the big hit. If the A-gap is open, strike the A-gap. And not, well, I'm going to try to get out here to see. Take the A-gap and go with it. If it's a 1 yard, if the play is designed for 1 yard, great, get 3. If it's designed for 4 yards, fantastic, get 6. Eventually, those things are going to crack.
Is it harder to coach the mental things?
I'm sorry?
Is it harder to coach the mental things with those guys sometimes?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could say that. But again, coach is no different than parenting. Everyone's treated fairly. Didn't say, people say I'm going to treat you all the same. Oh, no, I'm not going to treat you all the same. I want to treat my children the same. I'll treat them fairly. And the expectation levels are all the same. The way I talk to Master is vastly different than the way I talk to Demario, or how I talk to JK. The way I talk to Mike Weber is very, very different than how I talk to Marcus Crowley. But you have to know your clientele, you have to know your players, you have to know your kids, and what's going to push them. And if they need something mentally, then okay, how do I make that happen for them? How can I help facilitate that? And make them understand, okay, here's where you're at, here's where we have to go, and here's how we're going to do it. And every kid's a little bit different.
Tony, how tough is it for running backs to wait their turn, as opposed to offensive linemen? You kind of take it for granted.
Well, I think that if anybody that's what's the term? If there's anybody that's an alpha male that's hungry and has a strong desire to be elite and be great, it's hard to wait your turn. I've never had to wait my turn for anything. So why would I start now, right? And that's a hard pill to swallow. And because again, in the recruitment, you think about these kids that come to school here, they've been especially skilled players. They've been the best.
No, right.
They've been the best where they've been since when they started playing, maybe 6 years old. No one's ever told them no. They've been the absolute best. And they've worked for those things. Then all of a sudden they get thrust, and then through the high school, through recruiting, they're told they're God's gift to whatever it is, right? And the sun shines and sets on their behind. All of a sudden they come to college, it's like, whoa, I'm not playing. They've never had to experience that, and so that is hard.
With that in mind, with Demario McCall, I mean, he's a guy that wanted to play from day one. Here it is, is this a big spring for him?
Absolutely.
I mean, of course it always is, but I mean, how important is it for him?
I think it's extremely important for him, for us as coaches to see, but it's also important for him because we can, listen, we all can say, I can do. But if you've never really done it, you can say all we want, but then all of a sudden when it flashes like, see, I can do this, and then you're going to watch his confidence get grow, and he's a very confident kid. And something, he can. He's a really, really good player. And
so do you see a difference in him this spring, I guess?
Yeah, this is his natural position, if you will, running back, and you can tell, man, his engagement is so much more, and he walks around. There's not that bad look on his face, like that look of disappointment. Yeah, you can see it. You can tell in his demeanor. He is so fun to be around, and I'm fired up. That's my guy.
Is he more of a guy that would maybe come in for a series and give JK a blow and be the tailback, or is he better off situationally, maybe a third down?
Oh, I think both. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, both. I mean, he's not going to be okay only on third down. No. He's got to be able to be a full complement player. And that's one of the things we try to train these guys is you want to be a complete player. Don't be a one-dimensional guy. Now, for some teams, that's what they do. They have situational players. We have not done that until you're a four-down guy. You're a three-down, four-down guy. That's what you are, and you better be able to play in all facets and all situations. So one of the things with him is we've had to do is really he's got to hone in on his pass protection because he's a smaller guy by nature, by stature. But then he hasn't done it because we moved him out to wide receiver, so we really got to hone back in on that now. But he knows that, and he's working at it, and it's important to him. But he's a smart kid, and he understands our offense. So part of it is knowing exactly where to go and when to be there, and he does. And so I'm excited about where he's going. I'm excited about his future, and in this football program. I'm excited about his future as a person. Because that guy is gonna, you watch, he's gonna be special, not just on the field, but off the field. He's special kid.
Going back to what you were talking about, JK, when someone's trying to hit those home runs, and then if you look statistically, he just didn't have as many home runs last year as he did his freshman year. Is it one of those things where you're just trying so hard and you just sort of?
I think it's a combination of that. He's trying to hit the home run, and it's a combination of some of the things that we were doing offensively. Maybe just every game situation, every year is a little bit different. So to say 100% this is what it is, can't do that. But I do know that he was trying to hit some big ones, and he would tell you that too. And consequently, he missed some big ones, you know. And there's a lot of things that, you know, to be able to pinpoint and say that's it, 100%, that's it. I don't subscribe to that line of thinking. Not to say other people, if they do, I'm not saying they're wrong. I just don't subscribe to that. And but I don't know. We're not going to keep looking back at him and what we did in the past. Just, here we go. And right now, he is on fire as far as his mental approach to what's going on right now. He's on fire. He's enjoying it playing right now.
Somebody I was
more questions.
Somebody I was impressed with in recruiting, Steel Chambers. What do you think he can bring to this winning?
Well, I don't know. We're going to find out when he gets here because he's got to learn the offense. But he's a big, strong, physical athlete, and that again is a guy that's a high achiever, extremely high achiever in all facets of his life, and you know, he's got a great family behind him and support system behind him, and he's smart. You know, so I think he's going to be able to grasp what we're doing very rapidly, and so I'm excited to get him here. You know, it's just a matter of time. You know, you're teaching him right now. He's trying to teach an offense from afar, which is hard, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Good. Is he someone you think you have to fight the defensive coaches to keep him in your room?
I'm going to win. We'll see. I'm out. I got to fight Al. Hey, Al. They just asked me if I was going to fight with you. I love Al.
Why?
Just because.
Thank you, Coach.
No, we're good. Good?
Thanks.